Every club, every day. The Global Sports Podcast Network.
Hello and welcome to the Daily Brighton podcast. It's your boy, the Big JG, and I am joined by the man himself, Blessings Trabamba. Bless, how we doing, brother?
Yeah, good. Slightly disappointed, obviously, with the result, but overall, I think it's been a nice weekend.
Yeah, it was lucky that the game was on Friday because we could actually enjoy our weekend afterwards, and it only ruined the Friday night and the sleeping into Saturday. But yeah, it was not an ideal performance to only come away from against Southampton with 1 point against Southampton. They were literally easy pickings for the rest of the league, and yet we go there and we cannot beat them.
Yeah, I think as well, I'm looking back to the preview podcast we did, and I do remember you giving it such a big one. So I think you should hang your head in shame, because I said this could be a potential banana skin, and you're like, nah, no way.
There's no way they were going to be a banana skin until we made them a banana skin. Yeah, it was. I was literally thinking, I won't even need to watch this game. It's going to be an easy 3-0. I watched highlights, just talk about the goals, But no, it was an absolute disastrous performance. It was actually the most underwhelming performance all season. No joke.
Yeah, I think overall the whole performance was flat. I think we just lacked the rhythm that was required to actually create more chances and put those chances away. And of course, obviously, we missed a few chances, which I'm sure we'll unpack as well. So overall, very disappointing, because if you look at the two teams, I mean, Southampton are 20th, rock bottom. And
those
we
were
are
their
at
first
home.
away points as well.
Yeah, that's shocking. And we are at home. It has to be 3 points. Anything less is not good enough.
Yeah. Flat was the word that you used to describe, and I think that's the perfect way to call it as well. It was so lethargic. I was watching on my chair thinking, like, where is any urgency? I was like rocking, thinking, are we gonna press? Are we going to actually do something with the ball? Are we gonna actually be progressive or active? No, it just looked like they couldn't be asked. Like, that's actually the first time I've said this season. It looked like they couldn't be asked. It looked like we were Man United.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it looked like they couldn't be asked. I think it felt like they just kept on banging the same
the drum.
Banging the same drum and expecting a different result. Doing the same thing and thinking something's going to change, and it just really wasn't. I think Hertzler might have got the midfield wrong slightly. I did say in the Friday podcast that I felt like Matt Swiffer would be a better player to start. I mean, he came on and he was terrible as well. So it's like,
what's new?
Yeah, it's hard to sort of think. I did think there was a bit of an imbalance in midfield. So it's hard to see what life is like without Belieber. I think Belieber is very important. Even not to be able to get over the line without him against Southampton. Imagine if we're playing another team without Belieber. So it's like, yeah, we need him back.
Yeah, even if it's just to bring him on, he brings something, like we've said so many times, something different to the midfield, where he can actually be that difference maker, like he was against Man City. He can be the one to, such a cliche, but grab the game by the scruff of the neck and either do powerful runs in the middle, or even now start doing progressive passes and finding chances or finding our forwards. I've got some stats here because I'm Statman Dave, and we did have, which was a surprise to me. I think I said on the Friday podcast, I didn't think we were going to have more possession than them, because they are the possession team. We had 52% possession. They had 48. We did have more expected goals. We had 1.7 to their 1. We had way more shots, 22 to 10. But other than a few chances here and there, I think there were about 4 chances where I actually thought, we could have scored there. But a lot of it was like long range efforts, or kind of headers, or kind of nothing chances. I think we'll talk about some of the chances that we did have in a minute. But yeah, what did you make of that, Bless?
Yeah, in terms of possession, I think I would have gone with what your thoughts as well. I thought Southampton would have more of the ball, even though we are the home side. I felt like, yeah, they would probably have more of the ball. What I did notice though, they did mix it up a bit more. They went long sometimes, and they did play on the break a lot for a lot of the games. So it might be Russell Martin actually waking up and realizing that football isn't a one-dimensional sport.
Yeah,
But
100%. I want to actually park that thought, and I was going to come on to it in the second segment of like how they did switch it up. But yeah, that you are so right. They did change it, and I think that was a bit of a shock to us.
yeah, 100%. And I think it was weird because at times they were just sitting in a low block as well. So I think that perhaps like played its part in terms of Brighton struggling to find their rhythm as well within the game.
Hey, but we started off quite brightly. I thought it was going to be an easy win from like the first 15 minutes because we started off on the front foot. We had 3 chances in the first 15 minutes, if you remember, although it was on Friday and we are recording this on Sunday now. So it's a very long time ago from what we were thinking. But yeah, we had the massive let off for Southampton with Metoma kind of missing the open goal from far out. It was a Yari played it a kind of a hopeful ball trying to play through Mitoma through. Sugawara took a heavy touch and Mitoma pounced on that heavy touch and then the keeper was out of his goal. That was one chance where if we took a lead not that early, that would have been, I think, we would have kicked on way, like, much more than we did from that point. Yeah, what did you think of that chance? Do you think Mitoma, because I wrote it, do you think Mitoma should be doing better?
100%. I'm a massive Matoma fan, and I said after that goal at Bournemouth, I really want to see him kick on. And that was a great opportunity to sort of just show everyone he's there, he's about.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with some of the other boys still finding fitness, like João Pedro. He's not going to score
Yeah.
every week. He's still sort of finding his feet at the moment. So we needed someone to just hit a bit of form, and he's just got to put that away. I think get a bit closer and just put it away. Obviously, he did end up getting on the score sheet, but yeah, it would have been better to start off on the right foot, nice and early, put it away.
Yeah, it was far out, but yeah, like you say, he had the time to take a touch and then even bury it from there. But yeah, he did score later on, and we'll talk about the goal because the goal came from a. Did not have it on my bingo card. It was a Tariq Lamptey cross in to Matoma head. That is something you don't see every day. What a goal! What a different kind of goal.
A lot of I'm going to say you and Joe need to do some apologising. I think you can go
Not
first.
me. I don't mind Tariq Lamptey. Joe needs to do some apologising.
You've said some things as well.
Yeah, I've joined. But yeah, what did you make of the goal, Bless? Good finish?
Firstly, what stunning cross. What a cross from Lamptey. I don't know what it was. I did check the lineup nice and early. But I must have not just, when you're expecting Veltman, you're just expecting the usual. I just didn't clock it. And then he's whipped it in. I was like, oh, Lamptey's playing. But yeah, it was quality cross, and it was nice to see Metoma running in, getting in front of the defender, and it's a beautiful finish as well. So, like, all really good stuff we want to see, but again, we want to see it more consistently, please.
Yeah. Poor defending from them. Like, Taylor Harwood-Bellis, I don't know what he was, because he's actually a good centre-back, but he just left the ball, like, darted to try and clear the ball, went over his head, and then there was just a massive gaping hole in the middle and that was, I guess, Mitoma just anticipated it again ahead of Sugawara once again. That was twice where he's predicted where it was going to land, and that's kind of the IQ that Metoma has, I guess. There were a few chances as well with Ruta. I thought he was our danger man. I thought he actually played class. He hit the post, and he also had a chance early on where he cut in, like fake shot, and then there was committed a couple of defenders, and then put it like shot back on himself, and that narrowly missed as well. And then he also had the bicycle kick in the second half. So he was the one where I was actually thinking, if anything's going to come from this game, it was going to be him.
Yeah, I think it's disappointing that the one that hit the post would have been a really nice finish. I think, yeah, I agree with you. He was very dangerous, and again, we need to share the load a bit more and not just expect whoever's on form, because we normally have at least one person who just keeps scoring. Like it was Danny Welbeck for a bit. Recently, for a bit, I'll brush over that like it's nothing. Big up Danny Welbeck, the legend. Recently, it's been João Pedro. He's come back. We're excited. He's got a couple of goals, but we need the goals to be shared out a bit more across the board so that we can actually, keep those performance levels higher. But I thought his all-round game, I think, was really good. He worked really hard. I remember talking about 4 interceptions. I'm not sure how many he got, but he definitely got one because Southampton would just give you that chance.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, that was all of our kind of chances. There'll probably a couple more later on in the second half, but we'll come to after the break, and we'll also analyse the Southampton goal and their style of play as well. And we are back with the Daily Brighton podcast. We're going to talk about, I guess, their goal. That kind of needs to be spoken about. It came on the 56th minute? 58th minute, I've jotted down here. And it's crazy. That was their, first real chance, I felt. I felt like in the first half, they didn't really do much. They had a Cameron Archer one, towards the very end. I think it was one of the last kicks in the first half. But then they didn't really do anything. That's why I kind of thought, we're kind of comfortable here. We're not playing great. We're missing a fair few chances. But then this kind of came out of the blue, really. Tell me about the goal and what you kind of made of it.
Yeah, I thought, throughout the game, I felt like we just couldn't sort of sustain and maintain our attacks, and they did. They kept on getting a couple of breaks where it might look a bit dangerous, and then whipping it in, nothing really happens. I think the type of game I was expecting is us at least maintaining our attacks. Like, if an attack sort of ends, we can recycle the ball, get the ball back quickly, and go again. But it wasn't like that. They were having a lot of breaks. And then, in terms of the goal, I think, really sloppy defending, desperate blocks. I think everyone was putting their lives in the line, but which is nice. But you are going to get punished if you keep inviting teams to break. You are going to get punished at one point, and Flynn Downs just smashed it in, no chance for the keeper. What were your thoughts?
It kind of all started as well from I think it was a bad press that started them, the move, because I think they played it out from the back like they have been trying to do for weeks now, and like they're kind of playing in their philosophy. But I think the break was just kind of nowhere to be seen. Everyone seemed to be a couple seconds off, or a couple second or steps off their man, and it kind of just allowed Flynn Downs and whoever it was, like Carl Walker-Peters or whoever it might have been, to just play those 1-2s. Flynn Downs basically just walked into the middle of the park to begin the move, unmarked, uncontested, and they just kept on popping it about. And then, like you say, the goal, it was... If it doesn't go in, we're calling it heroic defending. Everyone's throwing their bodies on the line. Obviously, it has gone in, and it's such tough luck. But also, I want to say, I also blame Igor a bit for that goal, because right when they pop it to Dibbling, who was in the cam position, and Igor fully commits, just charges at him, and then he's completely out of position not in the back four, and Dibbling rides the challenge. But I feel like if you're going to commit that high and if you're going to press onto them, you need to be winning that ball. But Dibbling rides a challenge, and then he plays it out wide, and that's kind of where Adam Armstrong was able then to pop up into that space, and then the shots galore. He did come back later and do one of those blocks, but I kind of put him slightly at fault, or partly at fault, but I guess it's also a team thing, and it started from the attack, so the press was also the fault.
Yeah, I think I'm glad you brought that up, because it does make the Eagle dunk conversation a bit more interesting, I'd say, as well, because I think that Eagles got that in him, just a bit of rashness, a bit of just misreading the game a bit sometimes. I think he's got that, and whereas I don't think Dunk would have charged out like that. I think he would have been a bit more wary of leaving that space in behind, and wary of the type of player you're actually going out to. If he spins you, you've left a massive hole, and you're in trouble. So. Yeah, it'd be interesting who starts next time because obviously Dunk is back now. But yeah, I think that's one thing we can look at. Although, obviously defending on the halfway line, I think Eagles quicker. He's strong as well, so he does that brilliantly. But it's also that game intelligence. I think that's really important. And yeah, it's disappointing to see him just run out like that. To be honest.
Yeah, and I think we got to show love to Tyler Dibbling as well. I know we're not the Southampton podcast, but he was the man of the match, and he was class. To be honest, I've written at the end of our podcast notes here, our man of the match. I don't think we had a man of the match. Well, maybe Reuter, but Dibbling stood head and shoulders, in my opinion, above everyone. Really, he was class. I think he gave Estepinian a really tough time.
Yeah, I thought he was really good. I think when he starts drifting infield, Estepinian didn't have a clue what to do. Does he follow him? Does he just leave him? If you leave him, you know what he can do. One thing I was really impressed. He looks quite strong. I thought it'd be a bit more flimsy, but he does sort of shield the ball quite well and win free kicks here and there. He looks quality. I think teams will be sniffing around him. Hopefully they're not sniffing around Brighton players. Go and get him.
I think he won 9. I think he won 9 fouls that game, which I think is one of the most in the Prem. Perhaps all time. I think I've read a stat. I think it comes Bruno G has won the most, unless it's just this season. But yeah, I think he's now 4th most. Won the 4th most fouls after that game, which was 9. And yeah, I mean, his strength shocked me as well. He rides challenges. The amount of times I wrote that, he just skips away, or I think it's his balance as well as not just being shrugged off the ball. Yeah, he was very good. And like you say, if they can not raid Man City and whoever, don't raid Brighton. We've got poor players. Please don't take them. Then they're not very good. They're just being really good and hurts the system. Go take Tyler Dibbling because he's the truth, mate.
That's do you reckon he can keep them up?
Do I reckon he can keep them up? I mean, it would be some miracle. Miracle.
Absolute miracle work if he can do that. Give him the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, especially at 18 years old. Imagine that's at 18 years old and they're relying on an 18-year-old to basically be their shining light on the season and provide everything for them. There's other things as well, bless. I wanted to talk about in terms of what we were talking about earlier, in terms of they did look like they changed the way that they were playing and Russell Martin might have adapted this game. I noticed that kind of early on when we were having so much of the possession in the first half. They looked like they were actually going for the long ball, which I hadn't seen in Southampton all season. But they if there wasn't a person to play out for, there weren't the bad mistakes that we saw against Liverpool. They were actually looking to hoof it long sometimes.
Yeah, I think they've looked at it like all the other teams that have, and realised Brighton's high line is something you can get at. Obviously, they haven't got the quality to punish Brighton like some of the other teams have, but they did switch it up. They went a bit longer, a bit more direct. At times, sat deep to invite the high line to step up even more, so that there is that space in behind. But I think with a few better players, I think they could have got a couple of goals. But
yeah,
it's tough, isn't it?
That's unlucky for them. But there was also I don't think we won the ball. Obviously, then I think that the stat came up on Sky Sports where they were 20th in errors leading to goals. They were 20th in lost possession in their own third. And I think I only jotted down 4 times where they actually lost the ball to us or in their third. which was for them not too bad, because I'm pretty sure in other games it would have been like 8 or 10, especially against like Southampton, or what was the other game I watched them play? Man City.
I thought that as well. And what I noticed, obviously, they've changed the goalkeeper. I was pretty gutted about that because Mataki, he had a tough day against Liverpool. And the keeper was still shaky. I think there was one moment where he did pass it to, I think it was it João Pedro?
It was in the first half or second, because there was one in the second half where he kicked it straight to Metoma. And then there was one in the second half as well. He passed it to Ruta in the box.
See, that's the thing.
Just on the edge of the box.
That's it. Yeah, they are going to give you these chances. You've got to take them. We knew this going in, that there are going to be opportunities where the keeper just passes you the ball in the box.
Yeah,
you've got to be switched on to take that chance because that's the best chance of the game, isn't it? I'm not going to lie. If the keeper passes it to you, that's a great chance. But obviously couldn't capitalise on them.
No, I think the reason we couldn't capitalise on them is, I thought this in the game, we were looked really hesitant to either just shoot first time or just make the decision. That time where Metoma wins it, he kicks it straight to Metoma. Metoma plays it straight to Ruta, who is then on the edge of the box. All the Southampton players are trying to recover, like pressing to the ball, rushing to the box to try and put a block in. And Ruta there needs to decide, do I shoot like ASAP? And I think the shot was probably the better option there. He lays it off to a Yari, who then then takes another 2 seconds to go, oh, do I shoot? And then he lays it off to a Dinger. It's like, guys, we just need to get shots off. As soon as it comes to you, just unleash a shot. And that's what we were saying in the preview podcast, wasn't it? We were saying the counter press is where we're going to win or where we thought we were going to get some goals from. Just the counter press. They're going to give us the ball, and we then need to be reactionary, take those moments and pounce on them. And we just didn't do that because we looked so hesitant or so off it.
Yeah, and that's it. And once you hesitate, it just allows time for them to actually recover and actually get people behind the ball. So you've got to, I think if Hertz is planning for this game, surely he's told them that, they are going to make a mistake. Be ready. Tap it in as soon as you can, because it's going to happen. It was so obvious that there's going to be mistakes. I'm actually a bit disappointed we haven't scored from a Southampton mistake.
I know, We might be the only team this season to not have scored from a Southampton mistake. Well, on that note, there is some controversy to talk about, and we will be getting to that in the second or in the next segment. So stick around, because we know everyone wants to hear our thoughts on that disallowed goal. And we are back with a daily Brighton podcast. It's time. Everyone's been waiting for. It's gone all over social media. Everyone's put their 2 pennies in. And now it's time we put our 2 pennies in.
Here we go.
Bless. What did you think of the disallowed goal?
Firstly, VAR. VAR. I'm just going to say thank you, VAR.
Yep. Yeah.
It's harsh. It is really harsh. I think one thing that just struck me, it struck me straight away, is they looked at one of the incidents and said onside, and then they said goal.
Yeah.
And then 2 seconds later, he's still checking something.
They're still checking, yeah.
They've got to sort it out. It's been in the game for a while now. It's been in there for a while. It's got to be better. I think we need it. I think it's good to have VAR and, good to have that clarity. But the way they're running it is surely it can be done better.
Yeah, we sound like Alan Shearer and Gary Lineker on Match of the Day right now. Every single episode, they are talking about VAR. But we have got away with one so bad, and I've got to thank my lucky stars. And I don't know what Hertz was doing, like praying to the gods that, or he has some good luck about him, because how that wasn't given, it is a bad decision. It is. There's no way he's playing the ball. I've got a tweet here from what the Premier League put out, and they've said the referee's call of no goal was checked and confirmed by VAR as Adam Armstrong was in an offside position and deemed to be impacting Verbruggen's ability to play the ball. I'm not gonna lie, the picture they've used for that just eradicates everything they've just said, because Verbruggen is nowhere near the ball. And I think Russell Martin said it actually after the game. He said that Verbruggen's not even... if it was going to the front post or like in front of Adam Armstrong, that's completely fair play. Like, that would then definitely be offside. It's gone behind Adam Armstrong. Verbruggen's not anticipating Armstrong to get the ball. He's already committing to Archer finishing it. Like, he's already starting to move across and dive to Archer. So yeah, how they've come to that decision is a howler. The only way I thought potentially they were going to give it is like, he's impacted Van Hecker, I guess, in some way. That's the only way I thought. And then the explanation just didn't say that. I was thinking, because he's impacted Van Hecker slightly because Van Hecker's had to follow that run. But even then, that would be very harsh.
that wouldn't be offside, because, like, do you know what I mean? Like, the player's there.
That just happens,
it's your choice whether to follow him offside or not. Like, if he's offside. But yeah, it is bizarre again. Like, so they're saying that there is a possibility that Verbruggen could have dived forwards and stopped the ball when no keeper's actually jumped that far forwards to stop a cross like that. It wasn't that kind of scenario where a keeper comes out and stops a cross. So it's terrible. I think initially I thought maybe it's clipped Adam Armstrong's heel.
I thought that.
But is that not a thing?
No, it did not clip him. No, just went past him. He did raise his foot. That was the other one I kind of thought maybe they're checking for, like, does he touch it? Because he tries to play the ball, I guess. But yeah, they didn't mention that either.
I think if you attempt to play the ball, then it's offside. But the fact that it's behind him, I just think... Do you know what I mean? It's not like he's actually stepped forward and trying to tap it home, but it's behind him, so it's harsh.
Yeah, but hey, we are very thankful to VAR. These are it's the thing with VAR, it's like a gift and a curse, because you'll get one for you, but later in the season, we're going to be bashing VAR going, it's the worst thing in the world, it cost us this win, it cost us this result, and that's just, I guess, how it evens out. Like, at one point, you will get screwed by VAR. At another point, you will be absolutely gifted by the gods of VAR.
Yeah, I mean, this week I've said, we need VAR. They just need to sort it out. Next week I could be like, we don't need it. We don't need it. Get it out.
Get it out.
Kick it out.
Well, we are now, after the game week has finished, we are 4th and above Man City, which is crazy to think. I know it was only a point, but the silver lining is that we are 4th. We're 2 points behind Arsenal and Chelsea still. And we've got, like we're saying, an easy run of games to come. But the problem is, we think they're easy, and then they could be Southampton's.
I don't think they're going to be easy, because we just don't know what Brighton are going to turn up.
I'm not going to lie, I've lost a bit of hope of this easy run that we've got, and I'm actually thinking we could be just dropping points left, right, and centre at this rate.
Yeah, honestly, it's tough, and Fulham are a good side. So
Fulham are a good side. They just drew against Tottenham as well. So not. But we beat Tottenham, so we're better than them, and we'll see how this goes. It does
not work like that.
It definitely works like that, man. Have some belief. But yeah, on that note, that is your boy Jamie G speaking to Bless about Brighton versus Southampton. We hope you've all enjoyed, and tune in for tomorrow's episode where we take a deeper dive into this and into our draw, and probably look ahead to the Fulham game. Thank you, and see you later.
Thanks for listening.